Ladies and gentlemen, the Budget and Finance Committee come to order. Before we get started, Mr. Cooper would like to make an announcement pertaining to several bills that are on the agenda that, being that they're tracking with the budget, but he has some information just may simplify a few things. Hold on a second.
Thank you, Chair. Every year, the first meeting in June, the Budget and Finance Committee will approve a number of things on second reading and re-refer them to the Budget and Finance Committee before third reading. These are all the items that are somehow related to the budget ordinance or the capital improvements budget. That will also include a deferral of the capital spending plan resolution. So that is not out of the ordinary. Every year we take these and approve them on second reading for the purposes of moving them forward so that they can be considered by the committee before third reading, where they're amendable at that point.
Okay, and we're going to take a couple of bills out of order. RS 2015-1502 approves a contract between the State Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to the General Sessions Court for mental health evaluations and treatment for defendants charged with misdemeanor crimes. Also, I'm going to read the other one also, if we could. 2015-1126 amends the Metro Code to impose a $2 litigation tax on all civil cases filed in General Sessions Court to defray the cost of salary increases for the General Sessions judges. With us today, we have Judge Bell, Judge Mondelli, and also Judge Turner. Would anyone like to speak?
Mr. Chairman, Judge Mike Mondelli had me, Judge Bell here with us, and Warner Hassel, our court administrator. I'd like to briefly talk about Ordinance 1126. It is a bill designed to increase litigation tax by $2 to help defray the cost of the General Sessions judges. This bill is sort of a catch-up bill around the state. Back in the early 90s, this law was passed in the early 90s, and the other 3 or 4 large metropolitan counties in the state were given the option to help defray their General Sessions judges' fees, salaries, by increasing their litigation tax. At the time, Shelby County and Davidson County opted out back in the 90s not to do this for whatever reason, I don't know. But then later on, about the late 90s, early 2000s, Shelby County opted back in. And now they are helping to defray their General Sessions judges' salaries by this increased litigation tax. We're just now getting back on board. And it had to come before this council in order for it to be effective. We're asking for at least a $2 increase. And I have a list of the General Sessions filing fees across Shelby, Hamilton, Knox, Rutherford, Williamson, Wilson, Sumner, and Cheatham County. And this $2 litigation increase will still keep us way, way, way below those other counties. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Judge. RS 2015-1502, do I have I have a motion duly seconded. Any discussion? Councilman Garrett.
Since I voted for that bill, I need to let everybody know that I was there when we took Davidson County out and Shelby out. And I'm not sure if I remember or not, but I think I do. But at the same time, I also have a family conflict here that when we're talking about a raise in salary. John, should I just wait and abstain on third reading?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You would have no obligation to.
No, Councilman Stein wants to know, do I get any of it? No, sir, I don't. But so I'll go ahead and vote no, and I'll worry about abstaining on the next time since I have a family member involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Glover.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I don't know if I need to direct this question to you or back to the judges. You know, during the budget hearings, we've heard a lot of shortfalls as far as income is concerned due to the indigency. And I'm wondering, is there any kind of safeguard here where if someone's not able to pay the current cost because of lack of ability or lack of funds, you know, is this going to affect or how does this actually play into the overall picture there?
The revenue estimate that Mr. Hassel came up with was based upon their actual collections. So, I mean, they're factoring in what they typically collect and how much this extra $2 would bring. So that's the amount that is anticipated as revenue in the budget is based on that. And Judge Mondelli.
Mr. Chair, could I be heard? There's also a procedure known as a pauper's oath that's available for any citizen who wants to file a civil lawsuit. They can do an affidavit of income and expenses and petition for a pauper's oath to proceed on a pauper's oath and waive that fee.
Okay, so this was already built into your numbers. It's not anything that you're going to anticipate creating any additional hardships. But actually will reduce some of the burden that may be held by taxpayers across the city in helping to fund your salary increases or salaries as a whole.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other members in the queue, do I have a motion? First, second, all in favor? Opposed? 1502 passes. 2015-1126 amends the Metro Code to impose a $2 litigation tax on all civil cases filed in General Sessions Court to defray the cost of salary increase for the General Sessions judges.
We've already had some discussion on that.
Yeah, we've had discussion, so moved, duly seconded. Any discussion? Any more discussion?
That would be to approve and re-refer to Budget and Finance.
And this would be a vote is to approve and re-refer for third reading because it is tracking with the budget. Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, where's Charlie's? Which one is
This is
There
the
it is.
tax.
Okay, another one we're going to take out of turn is 2015-1124. Establishes the property tax relief program for low-income elderly residents of metropolitan government for the fiscal year 2015-16. This is also one that will be approved and re-referred to Budget and Finance Committee. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Councilman Glover.
Just if we could, Mr. Chair, this is a good program. I know that we get a lot of folks who are able to take advantage of it. If we could just at some point, not right now, but could we get the dates of when the residents and our constituents need to file for this assistance and have it sent to us?
We can't, Mr. Caldwell is right here with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman, the first filing date would be October the 1st.
Okay, the October.
And that date continues through April the 5th of 16.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other in the queue, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. We go back to the beginning of the docket. BL 2015-1122 approves the operating budget of the Metropolitan Government for the fiscal year 2015-16, also to be approved and re-referred to Budget and Finance Committee at the next meeting. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 2015-1142 adopts the capital improvement budget for 2015-16 through 2020-2021, another one to be approved and re-referred to Budget and Finance. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1499 authorizes the issuance, sale, and payment of general obligation bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $400 million. Another one to be deferred until the next. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1500 determines to issue up to $520 million in GSD general obligation bonds to provide funding for various projects contained in the mayor's 2015-2016 capital spending plan. Another one to be deferred to track with capital improvements. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1501 approves an economic and community development incentive grant for the benefit of Assurin. Do I have a motion? Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay.
Yes. Is there an amendment?
Yeah, there actually is an amendment to substitute the agreement that just makes a minor change to the calculation.
Okay, so do I make that motion?
We can go ahead and get a motion on the amendment.
We need a motion. So move second. Any discussion?
The amendment swaps out the agreement to clarify the date of, basically the date of payment of the grant so that it would not have any impact in the next fiscal year. So it would only be for the following 2 fiscal years.
Any other discussion on the amendment? All in favor of the amendment? Opposed? Amendment passes. All in favor of the bill? Aye. 2015-1501 passes.
With one abstention.
One abstention. RS 2015-1503 approves the continuation of a state grant of $1,302,999 to juvenile court to provide mental health screening and assessments for youth in the juvenile court system. Do I have a motion? Duly seconded. Council Lady Moore, discussion.
I just have a quick question. I know this is a grant. Will this be something, is this free and they don't have to pay for it? Or I'm always curious about health screening or assessment because sometimes I know that they do screenings for the youth that do have mental health problems.
Mr. Bradley's here from juvenile court.
They will not have to pay for those.
Okay. Now, what type of, do you know what type of assessment, or who will be doing it? Would it be the social worker who
Our
does it?
staff, Judge Callaway's staff will be doing the assessments.
Okay. Okay. All right. And will the parents know that this is available to them?
Yes, they will.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Because sometimes I know that they have those psychologicals or those to get a 5-axis diagnosis, they cost, and I was just wondering if this is going to be made available to
It'll be
them
made
as well.
available to the children that come through the court.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Council Lady Moore. Seeing none and no others in the queue, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1504, Councilman Claiborne. Pride Moore Bennett approves a grant of $17,185.75 from the Friends of Two Rivers Mansion to the Metro Parks and Recreation Department to provide partial funding for a parks employee to oversee the mansion activities. And duly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1505 approves an unrestricted donation of $350,000 from the Nashville Public Library Foundation to the public library. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1506, Pride Moore and Gilmore approves a donation of $10,018 from 10th Avenue Multifamily Partner, LLC, to the Metro Social Services Department for the use in the transition of residents from the former James Robinson apartment building. Duly seconded. Council Lady Gilmore, would you like to speak on it? Seeing none in the queue, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1507, Pride Moore Gilmore approves a memorandum of understanding between the State Department of Health and the Metro Board of Health for the distribution of long-acting reversible contraception drugs to eligible women. Have a motion and a second. We have discussion. Council Lady Weiner.
I just have two questions. First of all, can you define long-acting reversible contraception?
I cannot.
Pharmaceuticals. Mr. Cooper, can you give us that definition, please?
We have
Tom Sharp from the Health Department can probably, I can tell you what the two are.
Dr. Paul.
That would help, too.
But Tom Sharp or somebody from the Health Department may, actually Dr. Paul is here.
Congratulations, Dr. Paul. You get to answer that question.
Long-acting reversible contraceptives, generally these are, they're products that have a slow release of a hormone and they're implanted under the skin, but they're removable. It's a very effective and desirable way of getting contraceptive services.
May I direct another question to him, Chair?
Yes, certainly.
Are we currently engaged in such a program?
Yes,
So this is just a continuation?
yes. This is basically the state had a surplus and they want to send some of it to us.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Lady Moore.
I just want to know, is there a cost? Is it free? It's free?
It's free.
It's free? Yeah, free. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1508, Pride Warren Gilmore approves a Fifth Amendment to a contract between Metro Board of Health and Opus Inspection Incorporated for the operation of the automobile emission testing program. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Councilman Glover.
Is this ever, I mean, what's the process on this being, I guess, request for proposals or bidding on this? Is there ever an option for, or is this pretty much so just a renewable contract?
My understanding is it will be put out. The RFP will be issued, I believe, next year. This is just extending it one more year to allow time for that to be developed.
Did we know it was coming?
We knew the extension was coming, yes, sir.
Okay. But it snuck up on us that the lease or whatever was over? How did we run out of time, I guess is my question.
Well, we got to the end of the term, and so it's just, the contract was extendable, could have one-year extensions, and so that's what they're doing is just exercising basically the option to extend. We could do that 2 times.
Okay.
This is the second time, so next year will be the new contract once the RFP is issued.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Council Lady Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for the Health Department, I guess. From a cost-effectiveness standpoint, are we catching lots of cars that are not passing, or are almost cars on the road now up to standards?
Council Lady Allen, we do have a fair number of failures. It depends on the age and various other factors, but yes, we see a lot that fail.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1510 approves an amendment to a state grant to the Metro Public Works Department to provide assistance in maintaining and operating a permanent household hazardous waste collection site by increasing the amount of the grant by $42,500. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1511, Councilman Anthony Davis, Pride Moore & Hunt approves the final network hut licensing agreement between Metro Government and Google Fiber Company and approves the specific Metro properties to be used for the network fiber huts. Duly seconded. Discussion. Anthony Davis would like to speak.
Yes, Chair. I was just going to say Sam Reed's here if anyone did have any questions for Google, but I think the analysis laid it out pretty well, and Google's incurring the cost, so excited to get that ball rolling. Thanks.
Thank you. It was a pretty good analysis, wasn't it? Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1512, authorize the employment of the law firm of Leaf, Cabraser, Hyman and Bernstein, LLP, to investigate and pursue claims against pharmaceutical companies that have legally suppressed lower-priced generic competition to the determinant of the Metro Health insurance plans. And duly seconded. I have Councilman Garrett, Vice Chair Garrett.
Mr. Chairman, I just asked, I've never heard this before. Saul, is this something new? Or just the way to, or just being able to do this, or how? Is this a particular lawsuit?
Yes, this is
I'm sorry, that's fine.
Yes, particular lawsuit that we're bringing to see if we can recover some money from the drug companies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Council Lady Weiner.
Thank you, Chair. Saul, I have 3 questions, if I might. Thing number 1 is, how was this issue identified? Number 2, are there also private litigants in addition to the public entities? And number 3, is anybody considered class action status?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Pardue.
Which question was a yes answer to?
Do you have any idea what this is going to cost?
It's going to cost us nothing.
Nothing at all.
No, the law firm is going to invest their own money in this, and then they'll get a contingency if they recover. So
If we don't win, they don't get nothing.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Council Lady Gilmore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How was the law firm determined?
We went through an RFP process, and at the end of the process, there were 2 firms left, and we viewed this as the more qualified of the 2.
All right, thank you.
Seeing no other in the queue, no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Bills on second reading, BL 2015-1123, adopts the property tax levy for the fiscal year 2015-16, another one that's to be approved and re-referred to Budget and Finance. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. And I believe that concludes the Budget and Finance. Nope.
2 more pages.
Do I? Where? What do I have them? Okay, right here. I'm sorry, I was in a hurry. BL 2015-1125 establishes the Office of Family Safety as a standalone department of the Metropolitan Government. Another one to be approved and referred. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. BL 2015-1127 approves a pilot agreement for the benefit of American General Life Insurance Company. Duly second. We have a discussion. Council Lady Weiner.
I have a question for Matt.
Matt is the man.
Fabulous. Did I read this wrong, or are there no performance milestones required? And if not, why not?
Yeah, there are not specific job measures. This incentive provides that they get an extension on it. So the incentive for them is to extend the term of the pilot, and they get an extra year of the pilot for every 100 jobs that they add. So, but for the 3-year intermediate term, there's not a cut. I mean, essentially, they have these employees today, have had them for a number of years, and they're building an entire new building for this. So the incentive, the accountability provisions is really on the added piece of it. And just as a reminder, the city will be generating incremental property taxes from day one because the building is being built.
Right.
And so it was a structural issue.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Councilman Glover.
So let's stay in that vein real fast. Was it also a timing issue? Because it appears to me that these are normally done before ground is broken and construction has started, or did I miss something here?
Yeah, so both for AIG and Asurion, there were timing issues on the filing of both of these. So I want to emphasize, because I think there's been some questions from the council, that it looks like we're sort of doing something after the fact. All of the negotiations and discussion of the structure of these deals with both entities were made in 2013 and 14 prior to the companies making the decision as to whether or not they would be in Davidson County or not. And in both cases, both for Asurion and AIG, it was a competitive sort of situation where they were evaluating properties both inside and outside of Davidson County. And then specifically because of issues with, in Asurion's case, the sale of the building, there were just delays in getting the documentation filed. But these things were commitments that were made previously. And in conversations that I had had with several of the council members, although perhaps not everyone, we had sort of laid this out that this was going to be coming, but it was just a timing matter. So.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Council Lady Allen.
Thank you very much. Matt, could you elaborate a little bit on the other locations outside of Davidson County? Were they like out of state or just across the county line?
I mean, I'm hesitant to get into all of the details. I mean, we sort of, though the city does not sign confidentiality agreements as a matter of policy, we generally don't like to talk in great detail about these. But I would say, yes, there were there were alternative locations that were both outside of Davidson County and locations in other states in both of these situations.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Council Lady Allen. Seeing no other in the queue, all in favor? Opposed?
Do you want to be, okay. Abstention.
Yeah. Motion passes. BL 2015-1128 approves a pilot agreement for the benefit of Asurion LLC. Duly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? One abstention. Opposed? Motion passes. BL 2015-1129, Councilman Bedney and Johnson amends the Metro Code to establish a codes offender school. Duly seconded. Councilman Bedney, would you like to speak? Well, you're in the wrong seat. Hold on. Okay.
I just wanted to ask for people's support on making this happen. This is another tool that will be available to judges at the courthouse to try to steer people into being better neighbors. I expect to be used by the judges in a surgical way. It's just another resource for them, and I've been working on this for a couple of years, trying to make sure that I include as many people as possible on the process. So I think you're going to find that people are going to like it. I've got lots and lots and lots of positive comments from the community. So I think for once, I think I did something right. Thank you.
Council Lady Weiner.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question. What are the ramifications of not knowing the cost of implementing this program?
That was on the analysis. Mr. Cooper.
Yes, when the legislation was submitted to the finance director for certification as to availability of funds, Mr. Reeling did not sign the ordinance under the basically because we did not have any information from codes as to whether the up to $90 fee that the participants would pay would cover the cost of operating the school. That $90 amount was chosen after our meetings with General Sessions Court, which is the amount that they charge for the traffic school. But we don't have any. I have not seen any numbers from the codes department as to whether it would cover. I mean, it would depend on the number of persons that are ordered to attend the class. So there are a lot of variables. It would be very difficult to determine an exact amount for operating it. Another factor would be whether any nonprofit organizations are interested in putting the school on. The ordinance does allow that option. Those contracts would then be subject to approval by the council by resolution. But at this point, I think it's just a lack of concrete information.
You know, I really like the idea of the school. Excuse me, I think it's a great concept. I'm just concerned and a little uncomfortable moving something forward that might be a black hole. It might be a negative. And I want to make sure that we cover our costs. And I just wonder if there's an opportunity to get more information before we move this forward.
Mr. Bidney, can you respond?
Mr. Bidney, stand by. You're on.
This is second reading, right?
Sorry, what?
We are coming into second reading.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
these are second reading bills.
So I think that if you, Mr. Penn was present when we came up with the number, so I think that he's probably going to be comfortable with the number, but we can get an official document before third reading if you want to do that. I think this is mostly an enabling legislation that will let us see what it is, but if it makes you more comfortable to have information from codes, I'm happy to double down and try to get that information.
That would really help. I'd be more comfortable if we could get some information on the cost before moving forward, maybe before third reading.
Okay. So are you, well, we're in discussion, so let's finish the queue and then we'll get back with you. Councilman Stein.
Yeah, well, this is clearly more than enabling. This establishes the school. My question was, if they're fined, is the fine still limited to $50? Is it $50 per day?
It's $50 per day per violation. This class would either be in addition to or in lieu of the fine at the discretion of the judge. So this is not a mandatory thing that everybody would be sentenced to. It would be at the discretion of the court.
Okay, thanks.
Councilman Pardue.
I think Councilman Weiner got my question answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other discussion, are you submitting that you would like to defer? How long?
I would think one meeting should be sufficient to get the information, and if not, then I would suggest a two-meeting deferral. John, what do you think is appropriate from a time perspective?
If the committee defers it for one meeting, then it will be deferred for one meeting. If the committee defers for two or more, the council would have the option of overriding the deferral tomorrow night.
One is more than fine.
Okay. So there's a second on the motion for one meeting deferral? Duly seconded. All in favor of a one meeting deferral? Aye. Opposed? One meeting deferral passes. BL 2015-1130 approves agreement between Metro Government, Nashville Electric Service, the U.S. Marshals Service, Belmont University, Smyrna Rutherford County Airport Authority for access to the 800 megahertz emergency radio dispatch and response system. Have a motion? Duly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And I think now the meeting is adjourned.